As districts transition to remote learning, we've seen a big influx of applications bringing on new schools through Clever. We feel really grateful that we can support you and our districts during this time, and we hope that today's content will help you seamlessly manage this process. My name is Christina Cruz, and I am your Partner Success Program Manager. I work with partners on their integration and engagement with Clever.
Hi everyone, my name is Salochana Marpedka and I am a District Success Manager. So I work with our new and existing districts to drive engagement with Clever. Specifically, I work with new districts who are invited by our application partners to help them get set up with Clever.
Thank you, Salochana, for joining us. I'm super excited to have her join because she's going to give us a really good perspective on what the district experience of onboarding is like. So our agenda for today is that first, we'll talk about your onboarding strategy to support new schools. We will be taking you through the sequential steps on both the partner side and the district side of onboarding and getting set up with Clever. Next, we will be going over some troubleshooting tips and best practices centered around supporting our districts and families during school closures. So Salochana and I are now going to take you through the onboarding experience for both application partners and districts. As you can see here, there are 6 sequential steps. We will be going through each one more in depth, and we will highlight some things that we think will be important for you and your team to pay attention to throughout this process. Again, as a reminder, feel free to use the Zoom console throughout to ask any questions for us to address at the end. The first step will be to invite a district from your Clever dashboard. Once you're logged into your dashboard, you're able to search for a district near the top right corner. When the correct district populates, you can then click Invite to Connect. Here you will also see if they are on Clever or off Clever, which Salochana will go into more detail on that distinction in upcoming slides. Once you've selected Invite to Connect, a pop-up will appear where you will need to fill out some required information. This just includes some contact information from the school, as well as a personalized message to send to them. You will then select the schools you'd like to connect with, and then you'll be able to send their request. After you sent the invitation to connect, you're able to view and manage all of your invitations in your dashboard in the Invited Districts tab. Another useful tool that's available in the dashboard is our Clever Concierge feature. This tool lets you upload district information to invite them to connect with you. And this feature is best used for bulk invitations to multiple districts at a time.
Thanks, Christina. And now we're going to go into what happens after the invite is sent. Inviting districts that are already set up with Clever is easy and quick. You'll see here that there are 3 basic steps to getting a district started with your app on Clever. The first is to send the invite to your districts from your application dashboard, which Christina just showed. The second is the district administrator accepts the invite in their Clever dashboard. And the third is the district administrator will share data with your application. So we'll go into the first step right now. So the first step is to send the invite to the district from within your application dashboard. You can invite multiple districts at once, specify which schools need to be shared from within the district, and get connected on Clever even faster than before. Districts can be up and running with your application within 24 hours once they accept your invite for districts that are already on Clever. Once the invite is sent, the district will have to take action on their end by accepting the invitation. This can be done either from within their email or within their dashboard. So if the situation ever comes up where the district cannot find the email in their inbox, you can just redirect them to their Clever dashboard to accept the invite. You can see here what the email looks like and what the invitation looks like in the district dashboard. So this is what they'll see on their end when they receive the invite from your application. Once the district has accepted your invitation, the last and final step is for the district to start sharing data with your application. The district will do this by adjusting their sharing rules from within their dashboard. We recommend including the following guide from our Help Center that explains how districts can set up their sharing rules. Once the sharing rules have been set up, your application will sync with Clever overnight, and the district should be able to log in and access your application via their Clever portal within 24 hours. So that was the process for districts that are already on Clever. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward, pretty quick once they accept the invite. But now we're going to go into invites for districts that are not on Clever. So it looks a little bit different. So when an application sends an invite to a district that is not on Clever, a member of our district success team will personally reach out to the district to provide them with a hands-on onboarding experience so that they can get up and running with your application as quickly as possible. As of right now, that person is me, so definitely feel free to ask me any questions that you have about this right now in our Q&A console or at the end if you come up with them as I go along. So when you invite districts to your dashboard, you will be able to see whether or not they are on or off Clever when you click on their profile. This will show up as a tag next to their name when you pull up the profile as pictured here. We're currently talking about the process for districts who have the off Clever tag next to their names. So just something to look at when you invite a district to see if they're on or off Clever. You can expect the process to be one of these two. Once the invite is sent to an off Clever district, the district contact will receive an email in their inbox that looks like this. The application will need to specify the district contact on their end when they send out the invite. This initiates a personalized and hands-on onboarding experience where our team will work directly with the district to get them up and running and with their data sync and configured login method. This streamlines the onboarding process by cutting down the time it takes to onboard. So if a district goes and signs up through our website sign-up form, so not with your application invite, they will be a part of an automated email campaign and have to open a ticket with our success team in order to get help. The onboarding process is still great when they go through the website. However, there's a few more steps to getting support for onboarding in that process. But by inviting a district as an application partner using our application invite function, the district will receive proactive and personalized outreach from our team to help facilitate a faster and smoother onboarding experience. So step 2, our district success team will then work with the district to get them up and running on Clever. We have 2 criteria for when a district is considered onboarded with Clever. The first is to sync the district's data from their student information system. The second is to set up a login method for their teachers and students so that they can log in through the Clever portal. The average new district onboarding can be completed in 7 days. I've seen setup time range anywhere from between 2 days to 2 weeks, depending on each individual district setup, but our success team is there to help at every step of the way. So the third and final step, similarly to on Clever districts, is that the district needs to start sharing data with your application. Our success team is also available to check in and assist with getting these rules up and running as quickly as possible. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. And so now I'm going to go through a couple of tips for how you can check in on the onboarding status of an off Clever district. So once an invite has been sent, you can check if off Clever districts are connecting with Clever. Some context here, when off Clever districts are connecting with Clever through an application invite, so when you as an application sends an invite to them, they have to click the Set Up with Clever button in the email in order to create a Clever account for them. That is the only way that they can create a Clever account unless you reach out directly to me, and I'll go into how to do that later, and I can create for them on our end. If you do not see a district ID in the account information section of a district you've sent an invite to, they have not accepted it yet. So you'll see here in the screenshot where the red arrow is pointing, this is for a district that has an account with us, and there's a district ID. However, the screenshot above does not have a district ID, and that's because this district has not created an account with us. The next thing to check for is whether or not data has been synced between the district's SIS and Clever. You can check this in the dashboard by looking for a sync running status, which there's a red arrow pointing to that underneath Gotham City. Sometimes even when this is running, the district is still making adjustments to the data, so they may not be ready to share just yet. However, this is a good indicator of how the district is progressing in the setup process, since the data sync is usually the most time-consuming part of setting up with Clever. We've also included a screenshot of what the sync status looks like in the district dashboard. So the district administrator can also see if their sync has been successful as well from their end. And that's what that second screenshot looks like. Once the data has been synced with Clever, the next step is to share it with your application. You can view this information by pulling up the district's profile in your dashboard and navigating to the Sharing tab. If the data has been shared, you can see what exactly is being sent over by the district, including the exact sharing rules that are set up, and that's where that arrow is pointing to. You can refer to these when helping the district share the correct amount of data with your application. So something that I've seen a lot is that districts don't know how many schools they should be sharing with their application based on their licensing. So this is definitely somewhere that you can help the district really proactively just get set up with Clever and get running as soon as possible.
So we just talked about dis or application partners inviting districts to connect. I'm going to talk now about what happens when districts request to connect with you via their dashboard. So in your dashboard, under the pending request tab, you're able to see district requests to connect with you. To approve a request, you can select from one of your pending queue and then choose a launch date. You can specify how many licenses the district will have access to, and you can send a personalized message upon approval. To decline a request, you can simply decline, and you'll be given the option to send a message or not to the district. I wanted to spend a little more time here to talk about what the launch plan is. Sometimes districts can get confused on what the launch date refers to. The launch date refers to the day that districts will see your application as connected in their dashboard, and the day that students and teachers will see the application in their Clever portal. This means that everything needs to be set up and ready to go by this date. This specific date does not always guarantee that districts can access your application with no errors. There are a few things that need to be done before a successful launch. We recommend using the launch date as a date to work backwards from to ensure that everything on the district side is set up correctly by then. Once your launch date is set, districts will then need to, one, specify which users can access the application through sharing permissions, and then two, check for data warnings and errors. If at any time the launch date needs to be changed, this can be done in your dashboard after a district approves the invite. After the launch date is set on the district's end, again, they need to share the data to Clever. Once they've completed that step, you're able to go into your dashboard and view any data errors and data warnings. Here you'll see if users are missing a field or a data point that your application requires. If any issues are found, you'll be able to notify the district to get them resolved. Districts are also able to see any data warnings or errors they have on their dashboard as well. So they'll be able to actively look for and correct these issues on their end. If data warnings or errors are not resolved, typically users will have a degraded experience once logged into the application. Each case varies depending on your application. So again, just to recap, once an invite is sent, or once a district requests to connect with you, they will need to do two things before the launch date to ensure that their teachers and students have the best experience possible. Here are a few ways you can help the district move the onboarding process forward. One, you can check on whether or not the district has accepted your invite. This is how districts can connect with your application or create a Clever account if they're a new district. You can then monitor the district sync to see if it's up and running yet. The sync setup time can vary based on each district's SIS. And finally, you can make sure the district has started sharing data with your application once it's in Clever. So especially during this time of school closures, logging into Clever to access your application is something that can come up a lot in the day-to-day. At any time, you are able to download a particular district's login instructions from your dashboard, which you can then pass on to parents that may write in, for example. This screenshot on the left shows an example of the login instructions. You can visit clever.com/learning at home for a PDF of login instructions available in multiple languages that you can pass on to families who are trying to help their students log in from home. So with the potential increase in volume of customers writing in requesting for help, it's helpful to talk about defining escalation pathways for you and your team. Understanding who to contact and when is an important step to helping our districts get connected to your application to start learning. If you are able to, I recommend speaking to your support team about escalation processes such as these, or even just who to contact when a particular issue arises. So for example, if a parent writes into your team asking about login information for their student, the escalation pathway would be to direct the parent to contact their student's teachers first. Clever does not have any credential information, and teachers have tools in their dashboard to get students to log in quickly. Another escalation pathway that can be defined is who to contact around sharing permissions. Sharing permissions can be really tough because they're so nuanced and are pretty unique to every district setup. If you or anyone on your team is having trouble with sharing permissions, the escalation pathway here is to contact Clever support with context of what you're trying to achieve and help the district with. This slide just talks about some more handoffs between you and Clever. So if a new district to Clever or if it's a new district, they're not using Clever today, they need help getting their account set up, or they have general questions, you can CC or have them contact district onboarding at clever.com. If they're in an existing Clever district and they need technical assistance, please direct them to contact Clever support using our ticket form or calling a number. If it's an existing Clever district and they have general questions about integration or the district rollout strategy, again, contact support, and if needed, they will escalate to the proper channels.
Yeah, so as Christina just talked about, Clever support is an excellent place to reach out if a district needs technical support or if you have any questions about Clever as an application partner. We have a world-class, highly trained technical support team which holds itself to a 4-hour SLA, so you'll receive a response within that time when you write in. Our hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is our phone number. We also have a robust help center with tons of articles and resources to help both our application partners and districts get the most usage out of Clever. So definitely recommend checking in there if you ever have any questions, because we have a ton of articles to help you out there. And for any onboarding districts, please write in to district-onboarding@clever.com. This email is only for our application partners and will go directly to me and my team. So we'll be able to help you out with any onboarding or Clever usage questions from there as well. However, when you when you send out an application invite, that does also go directly to this email. So if you need to onboard a new district, I would definitely go through that route.
Finally, we wanted to share some best practices with you. With students now learning at home, we've seen families take a much more active role in their child's learning experience. And while they've been seeking support from Clever, they're also probably looking to you for support too. The most common support requests we've seen are families asking for help getting their students logged into Clever so they can access your application. While we've got some great resources that I've mentioned before, we've also seen our partners come up with some creative solutions to help too. We've seen partners sharing videos with login instructions, creating customized setup guides, and help center resources. We encourage you to take the initiative to do this as well, and we're happy to work with you on this. Please feel free to contact support and either me or your success manager will reach out.